There are different kinds of fuel that we use for different purposes, at home, in industries, or for running automobiles. For example, wood, coal, charcoal, petrol, diesel, cow dung, compressed natural gas. Now, if you observe carefully that in this case, a candle and coal both are burning simultaneously. But there is still some difference in the burning of a candle and a coal. Here, in case of candle burns with a flame, whereas coal has no flame. Let's take one more example. Take a magnesium ribbon and burn it. It forms magnesium oxide and also produces heat and light. Same way, take some charcoal and burn it. It burns in the presence of air and produce carbon dioxide, heat and light. A chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen and give off heat is called combustion. The substance that undergoes combustion is said to be combustible. Like in this case, coal is combustible and it is also called a fuel. During the process of combustion, sometimes light is also given off, either as a flame or as a glow. We can say that any substance which is burned as a source of heat or power is called a fuel. Fuel may be solid, liquid or gas. So we can divide all the materials into two categories: combustible substances and non-combustible substances. Combustible substances burn in air and produce heat and light. For example, diesel, coal, petrol, kerosene are combustible substances. Whereas non-combustible substances are those which cannot be burnt in the presence of air. For example, glass, stone, cement, concrete. Air is necessary for combustion. Any substance won't burn by itself. For example, a matchstick doesn't catch fire on its own at room temperature. To burn a matchstick, we have to first rub it on the side of the matchbox. Different substances catch fire at different temperature. The lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire is called its ignition temperature. Combustible substance cannot catch fire or burn as long as its temperature is lower than its ignition temperature. Kerosene and wood do not catch fire on their own at room temperature. But if kerosene oil is heated a little, it will catch fire. But if wood is heated a little, it would still not catch fire. It means the ignition temperature of kerosene oil and wood is different. The ignition temperature of kerosene oil is lower than that of wood. There are some substances which catch fire very easily and have a very low ignition temperature. Such substances are called inflammable substances. For example, petrol, alcohol, liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, etc. These substances have higher vapor pressure. That's why these are highly combustible in nature. You must have seen, heard or witnessed a fire breakout incident in a home, shop or any factory. In such cases, fire brigade is called. Every city or town have fire brigade stations. When fire brigade arrives, firefighters pour water on the fire. Water cools down the combustible substance and reduces its temperature and brought its temperature below its ignition temperature, which prevents the fire from spreading. Water also converts into vapor. These water vapors surround the combustible substance and cut the supply of air, due to which the fire is extinguished. It means there are three essential requirements for producing fire. First requirement is the fuel, and second is air, especially the supply of oxygen, and third is the temperature. The temperature of the substance should be bring beyond the ignition temperature. We can easily control a fire by removing one or more of these requirements. So normally fire extinguishers are used to extinguish fire. It can either cut off the supply of air or bring down the temperature of the substance. Most common fire extinguisher is water. In case wood and paper are on fire, water is not used to control fire involving electrical equipments because water is a good conductor of electric current and it can conduct electricity, which may cause the danger of electric shocks or short circuits. Water is also not used to control fire involving oil and petrol because we know water is heavier than oil. So it sinks below the oil and the oil keeps burning on the top. The fire involving electrical equipment and inflammable materials like petrol, oil, carbon dioxide is used. Carbon dioxide is the best extinguisher in this case because carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen. Carbon dioxide covers the fire like a blanket. Since the contact between the fuel and the oxygen is cut off, the fire is controlled and it doesn't cause any harm to the electrical equipments. Combustion can be divided into three types: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosion. Combustion, in which a substance burns rapidly and produces heat and flame, is known as rapid combustion, such as combustion of natural gas, LPG, petrol, etc. This is usually attained by introducing external heat. Substances which undergo rapid combustion have lower ignition temperature. Second type of combustion is the spontaneous combustion. When a substance suddenly bursts in the flame without the application of any apparent cause, such as heating, it is called spontaneous combustion. For example, phosphorus and sulfur start burning at the room temperature. In coal mines, fire breaks out many a times because of combustion of coal dust. And you must have heard about the forest fire. Yeah, that is also an example of spontaneous combustion. Fire often breaks out suddenly because of increasing temperature due to sun or friction. Third category of combustion is explosion. When during combustion, a large amount of gas, sound, and lot of heat is produced, it is called explosion. Firecrackers and bombs are substances which show explosion. Explosion can also occur when pressure is applied on the cracker. Now look carefully the burning of the following items: magnesium ribbon, candle flame, and LPG stove. All three materials form flame on burning, and you can easily notice the difference in the color of their flame. There are some materials which forms flame on burning, and there are some more which don't. The substances which vaporize during burning gives flame. For example, kerosene oil and wax. If you observe carefully, there is a wick in the middle of a candle. When we burn it, the molten wax rises through the wick and vaporized during burning and forms flame. On the other hand, charcoal doesn't vaporize, so doesn't produce a flame. Flame is the visible and gaseous part of the fire. What we see as the flame is the light energy released due to the combustion of fuel. Let's take a closer look at the structure of a flame. Flame is divided into three zones: the innermost zone, the middle zone, and the outermost zone. The outermost zone is the hottest among all three zones. It is blue in color, and the blue color is due to the complete combustion of the fuel. It is the non-luminous part of the flame. Next is the middle zone of the candle flame. It is moderately hot and is yellow in color. Yellow color is due to the partial combustion of the fuel. It is the brightest part of the flame. Then comes the innermost zone. The innermost zone of the flame is the least hot and is black in color. It is black in color due to the presence of unburnt wax vapors. Hold a thin long copper wire just inside the non-luminous zone of flame, which is the outermost zone of the flame, for about 30 seconds. You will notice that the portion of the copper wire just outside the flame gets red hot. It indicates that the non-luminous zone of the flame has a high temperature and it is the hottest part of the flame. Goldsmiths blow the outermost zone of a flame with a metallic blowpipe for melting gold and silver because it is the hottest part of the flame. We use different types of fuels for domestic and industrial purposes, and these are used to produce heat energy. For example, wood, charcoal, petrol, kerosene, etc. These substances are fuels. When we say a good fuel, it means it should have some characteristics. Let's take a look at some of these characteristics. So first of all, a good fuel should be easily available in bulk at a cheap rate. It must be easy to handle, store, transport at a low cost. Solid and liquid fuel can easily be transported, but gaseous fuel is costly. It should burn easily in air at a moderate rate and produce a large amount of heat. It doesn't leave behind any undesirable substances like ash or smoke. But there is no fuel that could be considered as an ideal fuel. We should look for a fuel which fulfills most of the requirements for a particular use. Fuels are different in their cost. Few fuels are cheaper than others. The efficiency of the fuel can be measured by the amount of heat produced by it, which is called its calorific value. The amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kg of a fuel is called its calorific value. The calorific value of a fuel is expressed in a unit called kilojoule per kg. For example, calorific value of LPG is 55,000 kilojoule per kg, while the calorific value of kerosene is 45,000 kilojoule per kg. But increasing use of these fuels has some harmful effect on the environment. Burning of fuels sometimes leads to some harmful products, which affect the environment and cause pollution. Carbon fuels like wood, coal, petroleum release unburnt carbon particles in the air. These fine particles are dangerous pollutants which cause respiratory diseases like asthma. In many rural areas of our country, people still use wood as a fuel because it is easily available and of low cost. But burning of wood gives a lot of smoke, which is very harmful for human beings. It causes many respiratory problems. Also, trees provide us with useful substances which are lost when wood is used as fuel. Moreover, cutting of trees led to deforestation, which is very harmful to the environment. Burning of fuels also release carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Increased concentration of carbon dioxide in the air result in global warming. The temperature of the earth rises due to the increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide, which will result in the melting of polar glaciers. And when the polar glacier melt, it will increase the sea level, which will result in flood in the coastal areas. Burning of coal and diesel also releases sulfur dioxide gas. Sulfur dioxide is an extremely suffocating and corrosive gas. And we know petrol is used in all the vehicles. Petrol engines gives off gaseous oxides of nitrogen. So, these oxides of sulfur and nitrogen are present in our atmosphere. So, during rain, these oxides of sulfur and nitrogen dissolve in rainwater and form acids. Such rain is called acid rain. Acid rain is very harmful for our crops, buildings, and soil. Nowadays, petrol and diesels are being replaced by another fuel called CNG, compressed natural gas. Because CNG produces the harmful products in a very small amount and it is considered as a cleaner fuel. So far we learned about fuel and the harmful effect of combustion of these fuels. Hope you enjoyed learning about it. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.